Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Richard Wisher, and today we're doing a quick chat with one of my friends, Jotty, and we're going to talk about diversity and inclusion. And we were just saying before the session started there that diversity is something that hits everybody. Nobody is immune. We're talking about diversity in terms of gender, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of age, in terms of nationality. And it's a huge problem, and people are not realizing the opportunities that they should be realizing. And I just wanted to have a chat with Jotty about what she's seeing and what she's experiencing. Jotty is, she lives just outside Peterborough. That's where I know her from. And she's been doing some really interesting stuff, helping certain parts of the community break through these barriers. So Jotty, can you tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Yes, sure. So my background is I started with NatWest Bank. I was the only Asian at NatWest Bank at age 17. And I sort of worked out that it was up to me to make everyone feel that I'm here to work as much as they are here to work. And surprisingly, I built up a reputation at NatWest Bank with the customers. And they will question my background. So I explained to them I was born in East Africa, but I'm Indian by roots. I have an accent from East Africa. I have an accent from England. So obviously I've got different languages within me, which gives me this accent. I am who I am. And to be honest, I did experience a little bit of problems, but I never let that worry me because end of the day, it's you as a person who has to make that impact. You've got to show people that you have talent, you're seriously doing the work that you're supposed to be doing. And the passion behind NatWest Bank, the work I was doing was just a messenger job, but I worked through the ranks and became a manager's assistant. So it was possible for me, as I realized over the years, what stops you is really yourself. It's the self-limiting belief. It's all about mindset. It's all about you. You keep thinking someone's thinking of that, but they're not really. They probably got different way of showing something to you, and you just take that literally. So I've been rejected a few times in many jobs, but I've taken it as, oh, I need to reinvent myself, or I need to find out why did I get rejection? What was it? Something that I didn't show them. And then how do you work around that?
Well, I met you when you were setting up your social enterprise, or thinking about setting up a social enterprise in Peterborough, and you were really passionate about that. And I think you started moving at that point. Can you tell us a little bit about the community that you run and how you help people and to break through this mind barrier, let's call it?
That's right, yeah. And so I did joined Alia Future Business Center to build a community because obviously I didn't have anyone to talk to. Kind of felt working in the pharmacy with my husband. That's the job I did for almost now 20 years. I didn't really have, yes, I do have my customers I talk to often, but it's not the same as talking about barriers. Customers just come in to buy the service from you and you do the service. And yet I made Deeping feel like we're a community. With the only pharmacy in Deeping, St. James, they've never had one, which was so surprised, that pharmacy throughout UK and not one in Deeping, St. James. So I said to my husband, they need a pharmacy there really. And that's how we ended up setting up a pharmacy. That gave me, even then I used to think, oh, how come they're not coming? Is it because, they don't know us, or is it, because we're new? Yes, we have all these things that we build up ourselves. And then until I started going out to the surgery, to the customers, I realized they really liked us. It's nothing to do with racism, nothing to do with that at all. It's what we start building in our own minds. And then they said, all you have to do is advertise because we don't know where you are. And that was simple solution. They didn't know where we were. And that's when I realized that I need to do adverts, I need to do marketing, I need to start putting myself in the newspaper. So, there is, we will feel at each time, whatever you do, you feel like you're being judged, but it's because it's our own thinking really doing that to us from previous experiences. It could be something that you might have encountered in the past, and it stayed with you. And now I'm teaching everybody that you have to sometimes think logically, what is your focus? Where do you want to go? What, nothing should stop you, because we've got the internet, we've got the resources online. If you're struggling as a public speaker, you can do public speaking courses online. You don't have to go anywhere. If you want,
The thing we were saying earlier was you don't need permission.
and you don't need
It used to be you needed permission to you had to apply to get a job, you had to do all the loops. But nowadays, a youngster or even an older person who wanted to do a video can actually sit down at the desk like just that we're doing this morning.
And
do their own video. They can have something, they can send it out into the world, and you don't have to get anybody to open the door for you. You can simply do it yourself. However, it's not that simple because it's huge. So you need somebody to help guide you. And I know that you have a sort of a group that you run where you actually take some older ladies or Asian ladies, or a very diverse group, through that sort of process.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about the process you go through to try?
Yes. So basically, they've been carers for like 10 years at home, looking after their family or parents, and they haven't really stepped out of to look for work. So if you can imagine, they've been shielded for 10 years or more inside the house, but not really knowing where to take that first step to look for the work. So what I say to them, first thing we'll do is let's start with the CV template, and then we'll do a CV coaching. Then I'll do mock interviews with them. And then slowly I will use YouTube to help them. So I will say, right now, go on YouTube, look at YouTube, it's free. You don't need to pay anyone. You can go and yourself and learn how they're asking question, who's answering behind that question, and write it down, make a note, and then start practicing. Now, if you want me to have a practice with you one-to-one, we can arrange that for you. And that's how I sort of got them to start. And then we build up their little template of CV of all the transferable skills that they have, which goes on that CV. And then it will change. It doesn't happen that the first time you write CV, that's it. No, the CV will have to have about 30, 40 drafts before it goes to the employers. Then you do a little cover note. What job are you looking for? You want to make sure that you're actually going to the right company. You've researched the company. All these things, which is so simple, but at that time, if you've not been in that environment, you would think, where do I go? What do I do? So it's just step by step, really teaching the basics. And then once they know it, they're there. Half of the battle's there once they show up for the interview.
And I guess one of the things is confidence. And I think the thing that you were telling me earlier was about that actually there's a lot of the people that come to you are not just a blank sheet of paper. They've actually got really good and in-depth skills that they've built up even during their caring roles. So the skills are there. They're just not articulated and brought to the front, and they don't know they've got them.
And I think what happens is it becomes like robotic because they're doing the same stuff throughout the 10 years. They've forgotten that they're actually cooking, they're caring, they're finding information for the medicines they might be handling for the carer. All these are important skills, and just to get them up, feeling that to get the confidence level up, I always suggest that they look at YouTube clips for anything that they want to learn, because that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, you don't have to go and ask anyone. You can do it all yourself from comfort of your home in your own time.
It's absolutely amazing. Just a little anecdote. I got my wife a sewing machine the other day. She did sewing when she was a child, and she wanted to try it again. I said, "Yeah, we'll do that." So we sat down with a sewing machine, trying to work out how to thread it, and getting totally lost. So I'm an engineer and a scientist. I couldn't do it. I thought, "Oh, for goodness sake!" So I said, "Okay, Vanessa, you know what the answer is. What we do is we go onto YouTube and we find the answer." So we went onto YouTube, we found about 6 videos, we chose what was the better one, and it explained in really simple terms, you do this, you do that, and you've threaded it, and we threaded it. We threaded it in about 5 minutes. So well done, YouTube. So you don't have to get a place at a university or a school to work out how to do this. You just find the right mentor and the right YouTube channel and the right YouTube. So it's brilliant, and I don't know why more people are not open to that. I mean, all the community. Why Why do we think that old folks who are stuck at home or who are, during COVID, they're locked in, they're isolating, and they're just watching old-fashioned television with the channels? Why do they not just give your grandparents YouTube, get them online, get them to look up things, get them to see what's there, and it will change their mind. It will actually change their whole outlook and culture.
And then getting and then the next step would be to get them on LinkedIn. And I did a training with Christian, obviously, to help these my group of people who didn't understand anything about LinkedIn. So it just helped them a little bit to understand what LinkedIn is about. It's a professional network. So you don't have to necessarily worry straight away. You can start doing a little profile, build it slowly, but make sure the profile looks good. So someone can even look for you on LinkedIn. If you have the right profile, you can find opportunities on LinkedIn.
I think, as you know, I'm a great LinkedIn user. I use it a lot within my industry, and I see it's changed over the last probably couple of years, where previously you tried to connect with someone and they would probably not do it, or they didn't have a good profile. It's now de facto. If you're a professional, doing anything professional in any sector, if you're not on LinkedIn and your CV is not on LinkedIn, then you are losing out an awful lot. And I think it's the important thing on LinkedIn, like everything, is you got to be authentic.
Yes.
Really authentic. Don't hide stuff, but change that so it comes across in a positive way. And it's not just static. Put content up and respond to content and engage. There's nobody you can't engage with.
No. And I think, Richard, we all have the same opportunities. It's how you see it, really. There shouldn't be anyone stopping you. Even with, I made a point that even if I didn't have money, I can still find a job. I can still find a startup. I can still do everything. Why? Because we've got the resources here now. We've got the internet. We've got the British Library. There's so much information. You can go to British Library even online and get information. So it's not like the opportunities are there. It's just knowing how to find those opportunities. Okay. And I think that's part of the key to success is don't let anyone stop you. It's really to do with the mindset. Honestly, it's your own mind stopping you. It's your own self-belief. You have to get that self-belief first. And we are all capable of doing whatever you really dream of, honestly.
Fantastic. I think this has been it's a tonic for me. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I hope that people who watch the YouTube, we're putting this up on YouTube. So yes, if you see on YouTube, if you like it or if you comment on it, whatever, I think this is truly inspirational.
Let us know in YouTube whether you actually managed to take that first step of looking for a job or anything you've kept putting down in your list but never got around to it. But if you just start today with me and Richard telling you, that'll be a bonus for us.
That's brilliant. That's really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this, Jyoti. Do you want to just for completeness, do you want to just give people your details or roughly how to get hold of you?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, Jyoti Rejdev, and I have my website, Jotty's Workshop. You will find me on Google, and it's Jotty is spelled Jotty '(s) Workshop, and you'll find me there. So if my contact details are on Google. Fantastic. And I've really enjoyed this interview. Thanks for having me, Richard.
Good, thanks. Good. Let's just there we go.